So I'm out here at my local park, and it's just something that's been, on my mind. And it's like us who consider themselves starseeds, light workers, indigo children. And this applies to other people too. But it's just having to deal with isolation and dealing with that feeling since you were a child is a real challenge. And it's something that I struggle with, and I know other people who consider themselves, part of the chosen. And granted, this applies to everybody. And I do want to emphasize this: not everyone knows they're a starseed or they don't even consider themselves a light worker. Some people don't even consider themselves an indigo child. So this just applies to everybody, but especially if you know that you're one of these three. But it's something about the isolation, being here on this planet, and just feeling like you don't belong. So something that I definitely struggle with daily, regularly, but something I was told from my divine crew is that it's definitely a way to focus on the spiritual realm. And when I say that, I mean communicating with our guides, angels, God, obviously, and just tapping in. And that's a lot harder to do when we're like distracted with all these things in life and social media and just keeping a job, getting money, doing whatever we need to do as adults, adulting. But just keep that in mind, that it's for a divine reason when you go through your moment of isolation. And it's almost like for us, even if you don't have a significant other, that it is amplified, And it's like, I feel like, and this may not be across the board, I feel like this in my particular situation, it's almost like my duty is to love the world. Like, it's not to love a partner or something other. Granted, like, that could be part of it, but it's really more so like you have a bigger calling, and the time you're going to put into a significant other is going to take away from your calling. And I speak from my own experience, being in a relationship that took a lot of my time and energy, and focus on my divine purpose, was a challenge. Now, not to say that you can definitely find someone that will cultivate that in you, to give you the time to do that, give you the space and the energy. So just be mindful of that, when you are dating, or even if you're in a relationship now, just try to communicate and advocate for yourself in terms of having your time to yourself for your divine mission, because it's very important. And I think being in this society, it really kind of like says, okay, as a woman, what I'm saying, and obviously there are things men are quote unquote supposed to do in a relationship, but as a woman, you're supposed to have a child, you're supposed to, if you can, like, be in the house. And granted, everyone has their own preferences, but at the end of the day, being, someone who is considered chosen, I consider myself chosen, it's like, it's but so much like of that, like you have to do both. And if you're in a relationship with somebody that's like, nah, you have to do this because I told you to, like, you already kind of see the dynamic and what's going on. So keep that in mind. But definitely when you are in isolation, it is the universe telling you, okay, what do you need to look at, what do you need to grieve about, what do you need to assess, what do you need to think about inside yourself, what do you need to connect to in terms of like God, in terms of your angels, in terms of the divine vibrations, and what do you need to let go of. And this is a process. It's not easy at all. Like the grieving process, the just that whole process of having to let your emotions out, like in a healthy way that's not like toxic to other people. Like you literally have to let this stuff out, or you could end up being, narcissistic, or you could end up being, basically abusive. And you don't want that, especially as a light worker, because we're here to, lighting the planet. And obviously we got our faults. Like, of course we're going to go through our moments, of course we're going to go through our stages, but just be mindful. We all deal with isolation, and this is actually one of the reasons why I did start this entire, what I'm saying, the universe was pushing me, like, because I'm like, I don't want to, like, but I feel like I know I have to, like, part of me, like, I felt both sides, like, I don't want to, but I know I have to, and I want to as well, but it's like the whole freak out, is freaking me out a little bit. But just be mindful of yourself, and tend to yourself when you need to grieve, and definitely try to explore unique ways to heal. So now that I'm talking about this, I can speak on, my ways to heal, my ways to recharge. Definitely being in nature, obviously, like, I'm here. Music, obviously. And writing helps me. Being creative, when you're being creative, you're tapping into divine energies, you're tapping into the right side of your brain. The left side is our logic, and we also can tap in that way as well, but it's something about being creative. It's almost like, for me, we are little pieces of God. And so that being said, when we are being creative, we are doing the things in which God does, which is create. So no matter what type of creation you like to do, whether it's music, writing, just do it. You know what I'm saying? And I would say limit social media as much as you can, or limit the intake you're taking. Understand what you're taking in. Understand what you're feeding your spirit, because even these little videos on these shorts, or Instagram and Facebook, all these little videos, they all have a vibration. And you can tell within a few seconds the vibration of the video sometimes. What they're saying, if people are complaining, you can tell in the comments. Like, after a while, I just, like, I can't, like, what I'm saying, if it's a certain video, I'm like, I'm not even gonna listen to this. I'm not even gonna look at the comments. The comments are all like heavy, low vibrational comments. I'm just like, what, next, or put the phone down completely. So just be mindful. Try not to be too hard on yourself. You're not the only one going through this isolation. You're not the only one going through this transformation. There's some people going through this transformation that are not talking about it. The entire planet is going through transformation. Earth is going through transformation. The animals are going through transformation, and some of the animals can't hang, so they end up like dying in mass, which sucks. But so it's just, our planet is capable of adapting. We are capable of adapting. And the thing that's so funny, I feel like the dark entities were trying to use COVID to really, like, give us a spin, like, to distract us, or, like, mess us up. But the irony behind it is that people were able to sit with themselves more, and like, really meditate on what was going on in their lives. And it kind of was a catalyst in terms of people continuing that. Now, obviously, life definitely distracted us, but then when we remember and we tapped in internally to, like, that time we were in COVID, and we were like, hold up, like, I was in peace, I was connected to myself. It's something that we should strive, or it will benefit us to strive more so, to do this regularly, to meditate, to sit within in the morning and the evening, whenever you're frustrated. And so right now I'm taking a bunch of courses. Breathwork is one of them. Meditation is one of them, because I already do it. So I want to be able to facilitate others and help them with that. So that's something that, I'm building. And I'm just excited. I'm excited about that. I'm excited about connecting with you all. I'm excited about how I'm going to flourish doing this. And I'm excited to see other people see me flourish. And I want people to flourish as well. I want to see that. So I'm here out in this nature talking to you guys, and just give yourself grace. Give yourself grace. We're all going through it. We're all grieving. We're all processing everything that has happened in our lives. So, take your time. It's not a rush. And I hope you have a beautiful day. Stay radiant.